This is From Destruction to Dignity with Janice Pons. Each week, Janice shares her wisdom to enlighten, educate, and advance the culture in America today. Janice Pons is a mother, author, and free thinker, and your host for our podcast this evening. Now let's join your host, Janice Pons.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. Come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Janice Pons. I am the host on our podcast, From Destruction to Dignity, Clinical Perspective, Spiritual Truths. Listen, we're going to keep on this amazing journey that we're on regarding our country, talking about the dynamics of things going on, this beautiful journey where we're supporting our nation. We have our flag behind us that represents the 50 states in our nation. We have our presidential seal to remind us of praying for our president and the cabinet and their families and all of the intricacies thereof of what they are doing to serve us and to make our nation better. We are continuing to support and pray for the 265,900,000 working Americans who were living paycheck to paycheck last week. I always bring them up because I don't want to forget them. People out there struggling, and people are coming through and things are turning around. Oh, yes, they are. And we're going in a different direction, and it's a good thing. And some people were working 2 and 3 full-time jobs. I knew people that were doing. I was like, when do they sleep? When do you sleep, baby? They're like, Miss Janice, I don't have any other choice. But God, Lord, things are getting better, and I know people that are getting good jobs, good paying jobs. So we're going in a totally different flow. We have a new leadership. We have the elections in 2026 coming up next year, and so a lot is going on related to all of all things political. And one thing that has been going on is lying. They've been lying. So tonight, because when you look at the media, you're going, wait a minute, is that even true? Is that even true? So tonight we're going to talk about stop lying. And our clinical perspective is going to be connected to intellectual honesty. Can people be intellectually honest? Can they use logic, basic logic, and deductive reasoning to come to conclusions by simply being intellectually honest? Like, here's one, people say, everything President Trump has done has been a failure. They are not being intellectually honest. They are flat out lying. And there's so much data to prove it differently. I mean, if he's doing good, he's doing good. Does he need to improve? Of course he does. But we're going to explore these things together. We're going somewhere. It's expecting us. When we get there, come and go with me. One person who I've grown to respect is comedian Bill Maher. Do you know why? He doesn't lie. He is intellectually honest. He is considered to be liberal. See, I'm telling you guys, I don't give 2 cents in many ways about political parties. I care about policies. And he's considered to be liberal, yet he is honest about things going on, and he talks about it. When he opened up on a podcast, and he admitted that one of his biggest predictions about Donald Trump and his second term turned out to be wrong. Can you imagine that? Someone who's liberal and say, I was wrong, flat out wrong. My respect went to an entirely other level for Bill Maher. It just went to another level. He is my fellow American. During a discussion about political relations, and here's something he does, and I'm going to captivate this thought. My motto on social media is, what would happen if we talk to and with each other versus at each other? Bill doesn't talk at people. He talks to and with. I love that. I love people that are in the Democratic Party, but I don't agree with them, but I'm not going to mistreat them. The difference is they often mistreat us and do public smear campaigns and so forth and so on. And I deal with principles. And I want to protect our children and promote wellness. Yes, I do. So I like Bill because he talks to and with each other instead of at each other. During a discussion about political relations between the left and the right wings, Bill Maher stressed how important it is for both sides to, this is what he said, we need to break bread. And that's the thing. I can be around anybody, but one thing I've learned that I'm not going to do is to show up and be abused. And I've had that happen. And this is when God told me, he said, Janice, you get to determine who has access to you. Oh, boy, I went to another level of freedom. But Bill said we need to break bread. I can break bread with anybody. Don't care about your sexuality. Don't care about your political affiliation. I'd love to get together with you. Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, in April of 2026, we're going on a cruise together. You're welcome to go on that cruise. Christian conservative cruises, you don't have to be a Christian, and you certainly don't have to be conservative to go. But we're going, and you have to have your money in by January. It's going to be beautiful. We're going on the MSC World America boat. They just built it this year. It's beautiful. I cannot wait. This will be our third cruise. You're welcome to go with us and break bread with us. Yes, we have a good time. Good, clean fun. And if you drink, we don't bash you. If you don't pray with us, we don't bash you. If you're not a conservative, no problem. If you're not a Christian, no problem. What you're going to get from us is love and acceptance. Oh, yeah. So we break bread. So Bill said we need to break bread, saying that leftists' refusal to even speak to Republicans is the stupidest thing that they could do. That's what he said. He calls out the liberals, and I love it. I do. Bill Mayer said he took criticism from his own political allies earlier this year when he spoke about having dinner with President Trump and musician Kid Rock. And people, if they, just like Jamal Bryant, talking about them runaway slaves up there in the White House, and if somebody even meets with him, with the president or any conservative, he bashes them. Not good. Not good. I welcome breaking bread with anybody as long as you're going to be safe and respectful. We can disagree all night long. It doesn't matter. But Mayer admitted that he saw things a bit differently after meeting the president, but still wanted to hold his feet to the fire on some issues. I love it. So do I. He made another admission. He says, I don't see a country in a depression at all. I see people out there just living their lives. And you got people saying the country's just going to hell in a handbasket. Trump is destroying democracy. He's destroying America. And everything is the opposite of what they're saying. Mayer takes the honorable route of owning his mistakes. One of the most powerful things I ever did as a parent was to look at my son and say, son, I'm sorry I missed it. I'm so sorry. I do that as a leader. I do it as a supervisor. When I miss it, I go, whoa, I just missed it, guys. Hold on. Back up. Put the brakes on. Let's dissect that. And we grow and expand. It's powerful. Oh, yeah. Takes relationships and team building to another level. So he takes the honorable route of owning his mistakes when he gets something wrong. First of all, be honest. Don't just be partisan, he has said. I will always call it as I see it, he said. No matter what it is, I don't care who likes it or who doesn't. That's my bond with the audience. It works for me pretty well. Yes, it does. I love it. Mayer recalled a prediction he made about Trump's economic plan that he actually got wrong. This is what he said. He said, I remember along with probably most people, they were talking about, he said this was going around the 4th of July. Somebody had a thing out about how the economy was going to be tanked. Trump got inaugurated this go round in January. He said, by July, the economy is going to be tanked. He said, I was kind of like, well, that seems right to me, but it didn't happen. Now, could it happen tomorrow? I'm just saying. He said, that's a reality. But, this is why we pray, because, what the whole thing with COVID was designed to tank the economy. We pray that there's no weapon that's formed against us and him will be able to prosper. When the enemy tries to come in like a flood, God raises up a standard. And we better speak it out and pray it out. Oh yeah, there's power in what we say and pray. President Trump has, however, surmounted the opposition, proven the haters wrong, and repeatedly come out on top. This is what Bill Mayer is saying. President Trump comes out on top with the EU tariff deal. Yeah, he did, proving haters wrong and leaving some Europeans actually stunned. This is what Bill Mayer was talking about. The president's victory announced in the ancestral homeland of his mother just days after striking a favorable trade agreement with Japan. I think they're one of the ones investing trillions of dollars in our economy. Is likely his most consequential outcome to date. Bill Mayer advised Democrats to do something. Listen to this. You ready? He said, y'all need to do something about The View. That's one liberal, Bill Mayer, talking about The View. He said, y'all need to do something about The View. After Whoopi Goldberg made a controversial remark that compared Iran to the United States of America. Meanwhile, a GOP representative blasted Whoopi Goldberg for attempting to compare life in the United States with life in Iran. Oh my goodness. See, is she being intellectually honest? Is she lying? That's what the podcast is about tonight. That's what we're discussing. Stop lying. And we're going to dissect this intellectual honesty when we get to our clinical perspective. So, Whoopi Goldberg compares living here with living in Iran. She stirred the pot by claiming that living under the brutal Iranian theocratic regime isn't much different from black people living in the United States. Wow. Here's the $1 million question, Whoopi. If America's so bad, why are you still cashing multi-million-dollar checks from a country that made you rich, famous, and free? Why? How you doing that? Someone has said this about The View. They said it's not even a talk show. It's a weekly tantrum from the far, it's a weekly tantrum from the far left padded room. The eyebrow-raising comment was made during a discussion about the conflict in Iran. When co-host, what's that girl's name, that lady's name? Alyssa Farah Griffin, I think is her name, Miss Griffin, pointed out that the oppressive Iranian regime has regularly violated human rights. Let's just remember, too, the Iranians literally throw gay people off of buildings. We don't do that here. We don't tolerate that kind of mistreatment of our fellow Americans, but that's what they do. They literally throw gay people off of buildings. They don't adhere to basic human rights. Griffin declared during the episode certain things very adamantly. It's a breath of fresh air when the women on The View are called out. She called them out. They spew out too much toxicity, and I appreciate Bill Mayer for his intellectual honesty. All of this ties into the dynamics of our clinical perspective, intellectual honesty. What is that? Intellectual honesty is the commitment to truthfulness and accuracy in the acquisition, analysis, and communication of ideas, even when it challenges one's own beliefs or preferences. It involves a willingness to consider evidence that contradicts one's viewpoint and to acknowledge the limitations of one's knowledge. Essentially, It's about prioritizing the pursuit of truth over personal biases or desires for validation. Let's examine it closer, guys. Let's look at that. Because it's something that I refer to frequently on my podcasts, on my social media platforms. Can you be intellectually honest? I'll ask. Can you use basic logic and deductive reasoning? I'll ask. Let's look at it. What are the core principles regarding intellectual honesty? What's it all about? Honesty in the pursuit of truth. Intellectual honesty means seeking the truth in a fair and unbiased manner, rather than tailoring information to fit a desired narrative. What would happen if we had an openness to evidence? It requires a willingness to consider evidence that contradicts one's own beliefs, even if it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. What would happen if we embrace self-awareness? It involves understanding one's own biases and how they might influence your own thinking and interpretation of information. What would happen if we acknowledge limitations? My limitations, your limitations, if we simply acknowledged it, recognizing that one doesn't have all the answers and being open to learning from others. What would happen if we embrace transparency in communication, presenting information honestly and accurately, avoiding manipulation or misrepresentation? What are some examples of intellectual honesty? What does that mean? Admitting mistakes. Let's start there. Being willing to acknowledge errors in one's reasoning or understanding. Here's another way that it might look, an example of intellectual honesty. Citing sources, properly attributing ideas and information to their original sources, avoiding plagiarism. That's intellectual honesty. I say a lot of facts on here, and I have that fair use. It's fair use. It's fair use. You share it, and it's common knowledge. It's common knowledge that's out there. Being and in the context of sharing information and research, it's common knowledge. So that it has its place on podcasts and shows and different things such as that. And news and so forth, the news, it's fair use. Being open to counter arguments is an example of intellectual honesty, of how it can manifest. Actively seeking out and considering opposing viewpoints, avoiding logical fallacies. What is that about? Avoiding logical fallacies, not using faulty reasoning or manipulative tactics to win an argument. God, stay away from lying. I just don't lie. And if I miss it, I'll say, oh, I missed it. I will not purposefully lie. That's something God put me in a check. Liars! God doesn't look favorably on lies. People miss it and say things that might not be true. They need to come back and make it right. That's where I come from. That's important. Here's something else to consider. Recognizing personal biases. Do you have any? Do I have any? Being honest about it. First, we got to be aware of it. Being aware of one's own preconceptions and how they might affect your own judgment. That's important. Why is intellectually honest even important? Is it important? Why is it important? It's important because it brings accountability. It promotes knowledge acquisition also. By being open to new information and perspectives, intellectual honesty fosters a more robust and accurate understanding of the world. Oh yeah, it does. And so many people, you can just tell they don't have scope. They don't have even a perspective of the world around them. It facilitates effective communication. Honest and transparent communication builds trust and allows for productive dialogue. I want to be able to talk to anybody and respect anybody. But I tell you what, I've learned, especially as I get older, I will not sit around and be abused. No, I don't care who you are. I will not do it. Why? I protect myself, my health, my well-being, my emotionality, my spiritual growth. I am not participating in abuse. What else does intellectual honesty do? It fosters critical thinking. What do we mean by that? It encourages individuals to evaluate information critically and to form their own well-reasoned opinions. These are things, guys, what would happen if our children thought like this? Instead of cussing and fighting, teaching them to go there like this. Intellectual honesty counteracts misinformation. It's crucial in combating the spread of false or misleading information. And it is at an epidemic level. It also supports ethical discourse. It's a cornerstone of ethical and responsible engagement in any field of study or social interaction. Listen, can you see the importance of intellectual honesty and not lying? What have we looked at? Stop lying. Intellectual honesty. Here's the bottom line. Can we, the people, can we embrace truth and be intellectually honest? Can we be intellectually honest? If so, how will it affect us and our nation? Listen, these are powerful truths, and it can take us from faith to faith and glory to glory. We will have a flow in this nation and in relationships and friendships and organizations and churches, because we will be that much less void of toxicity. People that are not intellectually honest, they have a real heart. They get toxic. They do. But God has a better way. Listen, I want to thank you for coming. Your support, your love. I am so absolutely encouraged by you guys. I just can't thank you enough for your prayers, your support, your encouraging me. Those of you who said, you need to do some exclusive content. Yeah, I'm solidifying that and putting it out there. And through Patreon is where you can go access that. And that's going to get stronger and stronger as I go. It's new. I'm doing things that are new for me. And I'm like, oh, well, I got to read. I got to research. I have to understand. But we're going to keep gathering here as we form a more perfect union, which means we are flowing together as one. We are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As we continue to go from destruction to dignity. When we're not being intellectually honest, guys, that's destructive. It is lying. Satan is the father of lies, and the truth has never been in him. It just breeds so much that's not good. It's destructive. So we want to encourage honesty. So we go from destruction to dignity. When we're truthful and intellectually honest, that fosters dignity. We get empowered. Our children thinking like that. Man, you talking about powerhouses when they walk in dignity and have goals and purpose? That's what I'm about. From destruction to dignity, clinical perspective, simply a structured way of thinking, a strategy, skills, and tools. Maybe you need the therapeutic process. Go to JanicePons.com. If you go to the resource page, I've already laid it out how you can pick out a therapist. It can literally save some people's life, and it can be instrumental in taking you from faith to faith and glory to glory. From destruction to dignity, clinical perspective, spiritual truths. Listen, God is a God of truth. Satan is the father of lies. The truth has never been in him. But boy, greater is he that is in us than he that is in this world. I am so invested in us getting better, us flowing together as one, as we, us, yes, you and I. We continue to go together from destruction to dignity. Shout out to all of you downloading the podcast all over the world. I am so encouraged. I cannot wait until Buzzsprout releases the additional countries, the additional places that are accessing the podcast. They don't do it as frequently as I thought they did. But that's okay. I'm just going to keep showing up because I got plenty of content. Why? Because there's a lot going on. Listen, guys, bless you. I love you. I'll see you next week. Good night.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of From Destruction to Dignity with Janice Pons. Janice's mission is to provoke thought, bring awareness, and point people towards intervention when needed. As a reminder, this show is not therapy, but for educational purposes only. For more information, check out JanicePons.com or follow her on social media.
We are one power, strength is ours, liberty, been set free, education, affirmation, dedication, information, revelation.